Part 1. The Realization. I am a Jew, and will be a Jew forever. Even if I should die from hunger, never will I submit. I will always fight for my people, on my honor. I will never be ashamed of them. I give my word. I am proud of my people, how dignified they are. Even though I am suppressed, I will always come back to life.
Franta Bas, Theresienstadt ghetto, German-occupied Czechoslovakia, age 11, circa 1942 to 1944.
Hitler in power, Germany 1933 to 1938. The nightmare that turned into the Holocaust began in Germany. Under Adolf Hitler's rule, the Nazis initiated the final solution, a policy aimed at the annihilation of all Jewish men, women, and children in Europe. Under this policy, the Germans and their Axis partners caused the deaths of as many as 6 million Jews. They also killed 220,000 Roma and Sinti, gypsies, 200,000 people with disabilities, 15,000 homosexuals, and millions of other innocent civilians. Adolf Hitler came into power as Chancellor of Germany on January 30th, 1933, during a worldwide depression. 5 million Germans were out of work. They were frightened, confused, humiliated, and still bitter over their country's defeat in World War I 15 years before. Germany had been made to sign the Treaty of Versailles, which forced it to give up some of its territory, limit its army, and pay huge reparations for war damages. Hitler, the Führer leader, played on people's confusion and distress and spouted his racial theory that Aryans, by which he meant people of Nordic descent, were a superior race to all others. He predicted that Germany would rise again as a world power. Germans, including children, embraced his words with wild enthusiasm. His words gave them new hope and pride. Hitler's campaign to destroy all political opposition moved with lightning speed. He banned all political demonstrations except those of his party, the National Socialists, or Nazis. Dachau, the first concentration camp, was opened in March 1933, and more than 4,800 Social Democrats, Communists, trade unionists, and other political opponents were imprisoned there. At the same time, Hitler began his fanatical campaign against the Jews. Anti-Semitism had a long, ugly history in Europe and met with willing ears in Germany and in most European countries. Jews had suffered persecution for over 2,000 years just for being Jews. They were blamed for Jesus' death. Some people believed that Jews killed Christian children and then used the blood to make matzahs for Passover seders. Thousands of Jews were murdered during the Crusades in the 11th and 12th centuries. They were blamed for the Black Death, the plague, in the 14th century. During the Spanish Inquisition, Jews were expelled from Spain and Portugal or burned at the stake. In some countries, Jews were forced to live in walled-in sections of cities called ghettos. In the 1880s and early 20th century, thousands were murdered in Russia and Poland in organized mass violence known as pogroms. Hitler played on these long-standing prejudices against Jews and blamed them for all of Germany's problems, even though Jews were only 1% of the population. Through an insidious propaganda campaign using radios, newspapers, billboards, posters, exhibits, and even children's books, ugly stereotypes about Jews were reinforced and absorbed by a prejudiced populace. New laws, called the Nuremberg Laws, stripped Jews of their citizenship, and other laws destroyed their educational and economic opportunities. Jews were forced to sell their businesses to Aryans for a fraction of their worth. They were banned from civil service jobs and careers in journalism, art, literature, broadcasting, and theater. Jewish doctors could not practice medicine at government hospitals. The list of professions barred to Jews made it impossible to support one's family. Jewish children were no longer permitted to attend German public schools or universities.